Hello, everybody. Let's talk about the ME report today. Let's talk about that ME report. Huge part of the case involving Madeline Soto. Thank you so much for joining me. We are streaming live, of course, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitch. We are on X as well. Streaming also in my personal page, Vinny Politan's personal page on Facebook. Thank you, everyone, for joining and checking in. Great to see you. Okay, Roxanne. I got you, Roxanne. We'll get some mods going. Yeah, we've got some interesting information, and this is going to be a little complicated. This is going to be a little complicated because of the laws down in Florida about what we will learn and how we will learn it. But the important thing is investigators are working on this. Investigators are working. And we have an update on court appearances. This is unbelievable. Everything that is moving so quickly on the one hand and slowly on the other. Fast on the one hand, slow on the other. This case was, they found Madeline relatively quickly, right? That was a great job by investigators and everyone down in Central Florida who was on this. Let me save this and put that. All right, folks. Great to see you. Thank you for joining. Updates galore on this. Things are moving quickly, but I'm going to start with that ME report. So many questions about the ME report coming from you and everyone else who's watching all of this. Absolutely. Aga is here. Honest. I finally got it. It's like honest, but it's like honest. She's honest, right? But that's more of a New Jersey accent. But honest is from Southern California. MM. Okie Crime News with Teresa from Tulsa. Great to see you. Nicole is here. Michelle is here. Tiny T is here. Great to see everyone. Criminy Cricket. Some great names, by the way. I will be at CrimeCon, folks. If you're going to CrimeCon, I will be at CrimeCon in May. It's at the end of May and maybe the first day of June, too. KP is with us. Heaven Lee. It's ironic. That Newfie girl, always here. Linda as well. Leo from South Africa. Great to see you. Donna is here. Missy Q, our friend Alexandra from Poland. Wow. We've got ALR Bella Vita, not Bella Vita, like that tattoo that was on a woman's shoulder from Central Florida. All right. Sonia and first, was it Wonsley? Is it Wonsley or Firstly? I guess I go Wonsley Angel. Jane Doe. I'm glad you caught us live. Mama Hen, of course. Set up the bat signals. Batman. Thank you for watching for years. Thank you. Mystical Magnolias. All right. The numbers are getting big already. All right, here we go. So the medical examiner report. A lot of information, obviously, right? A lot of information. But for those of us following the case and those of us covering the case and everyone invested in finding out the details and what the evidence is and where it's leading, etc. Here's the situation in the state of Florida. A lot of people have been mentioning this special law that they passed in 2023 regarding examiner reports. And there's a level of protection that's been put in down in the state of Florida. Let me give you the backstory. Because this is not a black and white issue. I think we're in the gray area. So the law was passed in 2023, I believe, in Florida, because there was a case involving a man who took the lives of his children, then took his own life. And the mom was the surviving parent. And it became a big story. And the details that were revealed in the medical examiner's report were made public because that is the law down in Florida. It's a public document. Public documents are public. They call them the sunshine laws. They let the sun shine in, transparency in government. But she was upset. She was very upset as the surviving parent of this domestic violence situation. And she got the ear of the legislators, and basically they came to this conclusion. From her perspective, it was difficult for her to heal with all of this information being made very public in the case. Obviously, there's an investigation, but there's no suspect because of the way it all ended with him taking his own life. So the law was created to protect surviving parents in the case where minors are the victims of DV, domestic violence. DV, I'll call it DV from now on, victims of DV. So as a result of that situation, the law was set up for those circumstances, because unfortunately that happens way too often. But again, to protect the surviving parent, minor children, victims in a DV situation where their lives are lost. So the medical examiner report / autopsy is not automatically made public. It can still be made public, but the surviving parent has a right and a role in whether or not it will be made public. Okay, so that's the backdrop for the story. That's the history of this law, and that's why it exists. So now you have to apply the law to different circumstances. You want me to give you what I believe realistically will likely happen here? I think because of this law, I think the medical examiner's office will, and prosecutors, whoever has the documents, will err on the side of caution and not release it publicly because they don't want to get sued for violating this law. So what happens next? Well, let's look at it this way. First of all, is this the type of ME report that was intended to not be public by that law? Yes and no. Arguably yes, arguably no, depending upon the role of the mother. Okay? Depends upon the role of the mother. If the mother is a co-conspirator in all of this, then I don't know if she has a right to block it, because the law was intended to protect that surviving innocent parent. Now, that may be who she is, right? She may be 1,000% innocent. She hasn't been charged, we've heard that she's not a suspect in these charges at this point or at any point so far. So if that's her status, then it seems like she would have veto power over that being made public. Okay? But there's another way to interpret this. The other way to interpret this is she under suspicion? Is she part of this this conduct that is being investigated, and perhaps the conduct that will be the subject of charges finally for what ultimately happened to Madeline in this case? So her role is crucial in this. And also it's a different scenario. It's not a case where it's DV and 3 people are gone and there's one surviving parent. He wasn't even a parent. So he would have no say or role in any of this anyway. So the realistic answer is I believe it will be withheld for fear of being sued. Okay? They'll err on the side of caution. We're not going to release it. You'll see it. You'll hear it at trial, at the preliminary hearing, whatever. So what happens? So what could happen if if the public / media believe this is a misapplication of that law and it's actually a public record that should be made public, the media, whether it's one person running a website or a news organization or a series of news organizations, can file in court for the release of this. And then a judge would make the decision. So, and that, so it's in somewhat gray area, depending upon exactly what the facts are at this point, which they're not 100% clear. So will we or won't we see it? I think if we do see it, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But it absolutely is part of the investigation, it's part of the evidence, it's part of the case. So when the trial happens or pretrial motions happen and issues come up, the information will be made public because it has to, because we have public trials in this country. Everything is public. That's so we trust our system of justice. And Florida generally does a great job with this. Great job with the transparency in government, but they've carved out exceptions. Now, the other thing you need to know about medical examiner reports is that pictures, photographs, not public records. Not public records. Now, they may be part of the evidence in a trial. Sometimes you'll see them, sometimes you won't. It depends. But remember, like if a famous, and this all started because there was I believe it was a golfer who died, or maybe it was a NASCAR driver, I can't remember, died, and the autopsy photos and pictures were public records at that time in Florida. So they were publicly disseminated, and people said, that's not right. That's not really right. So photos and pictures no longer public down in Florida. So you won't see those necessarily, but the protection of minors is something that's real down there. But I gave you the history, so I hope that makes some sense to you. So my analysis of the issue at this point, until we hear an official word from the ME's office, would be that they will likely err on the side of caution and will not immediately release it like other public documents. And what will happen is some media organization or member of the media or member of the public will have to file a lawsuit and have a judge make the determination if it should be released. Got some more check-ins. We've got Amber. Thank you, Amber. We've got MJH Freedom from Nebraska. Without Borders, following for a long time. Thank you, Without Borders. Appreciate it. Peter, great to see you. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it. Lisa is with us. Stephanie from New Jersey. What I say, if you're from New Jersey, you got to put the exit. You got to put the exit. 145 15W over here back in the day. Not anymore, though. Missy in Arkansas. Got donuts in Toronto. And the hair in Germany. All right. None of your business. Okay. So none of your business is asking, what is the manner? What is the manner of death? We don't know the manner of death yet. Again, that's part of the ME report. So let's get into, hey, Ozzy. So let's get into the ME report. You want to get into that? Like what information we're going to get? First, two most important things that you get is the conclusion, which is cause and manner of death. What actually caused the death? Is it a blunt force trauma? Is it asphyxiation? Is it, blood loss, a brain aneurysm, all these things that a medical examiner can attempt to figure out the cause. And then the manner is, well, what's the manner? Was it homicide, death at the hands of another? Was someone else responsible for that cause of death? Other ones, obviously, taking your own life, suicide is part of it. You've also got accidental, and then sometimes it can't be determined. Undetermined is another potential answer to all of that. Terry from Reno. Mindful Crafts by Donna. Wait a minute. Is this YouTube or is this what's Pinterest? Isn't that Pinterest where you'd find something like that? Fantastic. Adela is with us from Romania, which is amazing. first a Romanian viewer that's commented. I think Jojo is with us. Kelly E from Western New York. Jessica Zoppi from the UK. We've got Swedish Sugar. Swedish Sugar. You could read that another way too, but it's Swedish Sugar is what I believe. MJ. Hey now. All right. And Candy is with us from Central Falls, Rhode Island. Nicole is volunteering. We've got volunteers. Get volunteers. We got them. Oh, new subscriber. Welcome, Nancy. If you're a brand new subscriber, let me know as well. Great to see you here. Dogs and Decor. Again, we're back to Pinterest. This is amazing. Ellie. Hey. We've got SJ with us as well. And Vix from Bolton, Manchester. Great to see everybody chiming in. We got a lot of check-ins today, a lot of comments already. The numbers are staggering, absolutely staggering. We just started. We got 1,500 folks watching already. Great to see everyone today. So let's get to the big headline from today. I didn't give you the headline yet. There's apparently a trial date in May for Stephan Sterns. Did you hear me? Obviously, this is very fast, super fast justice. But if prosecutors are ready and the defense is ready, it could be a go. I doubt it. Usually there's tons of pretrial motions, discovery, complaints, etc. But there's a May 13th trial date right now for Stephan Sterns for everything that was found on his phone, all of which is extremely serious and can put him away for the rest of his life. Amazing, right? Amazing. Kerry is with us from the UK. Vipes from Iowa. Great to see you. Oh, yeah, the case is complicated. The case is complicated, and you have to remember where we are and where investigators are. We're on the outside looking in. We're gobbling up each piece of evidence. We're learning things from different podcasts, from members of the public who are coming forward with information, whether it's friends of people, someone who saw someone. So, we're learning, but we're really on the outside looking in. Investigators are on the inside, right? They know everything. This guy knows everything. So his defense attorney can know everything. The mother, Jen Soto, big question. How much does she actually know? Well, she knows a lot more than we do. That's for sure. Right? They're all on the inside. Investigators are inside the investigation, but outside of the conduct, right? We're outside of the investigation and outside of the conduct. So you see there's different spheres of knowledge in this case, right? So those with the greatest knowledge of the case, this guy and Jen Soto, they know more than anybody else. They know more than anybody else. And I say this, I always say this, when it comes to like a trial, that the defense always has the advantage in terms of understanding what happened. Because unless they're factually innocent, right? If they're factually innocent, but they have 100% of the understanding of the conduct of the accused. Like they know everything. They know everything and therefore can tell their attorney everything. So the defense attorney can know everything while prosecutors are one level removed, trying to get the information through their investigators, witnesses, forensics, all of that. Like they're gathering all that stuff up. The defense always complains that prosecutors know more than we do. They have all the evidence. No. Every time, bar none, the accused knows more about his or her conduct than anyone else. Okay? So don't be fooled by that. So at the beginning of the case, there's a huge advantage to the defense. They will never admit it. They will never say it, but they have it because they have actual knowledge of what actually happened, at least their own conduct, right? If they're innocent or not guilty of everything they're accused of, they have that level of information. But for the ones that are guilty, like they know everything. They know everything. They will always know more than the prosecution. Always. That's an advantage. Knowledge is power inside the courtroom. You know things the other side doesn't know. That's an advantage, period. So let's talk about this trial now. So the defense could be ready to go. Maybe they want to delay it. I don't know. Prosecutors, maybe it's a simple case. I mean, no case is super simple. But if images are found on a phone, what else do you need to show the jury? You just have to establish it, verify it, chain of custody, timestamp it, and then you have to identify the victim, identify the perpetrator, and you got your case. Not a long case. It's a quick case, but not sure. Not sure if it's going to happen, but they have a trial date, May 13th, not 2025, like May 13th in 2 months. In 2 months. So let's see if that happens. It's happening until someone says it's not happening. That's the way trial dates work. The trial date is real until it's not real. Like we can look at it and say, oh, they'll never do it. Well, maybe they will. Maybe they will for whatever strategic purpose. And it's usually controlled by the defense for the most part because they're the ones with the speedy trial rights. Okay, what else do we have? We've got Jay Baloo. Bring the heat. Bringing the heat. Donna's with us in Ontario, Canada. Hot tamale. Vinny, this happened within my area, and it goes to show the area is relevant when it comes to people living in it. Yeah, terrible things can happen anywhere. Anywhere. My understanding, this is a gated neighborhood they lived in. Yeah, it's a nice little townhouse. End unit, right? It's an end unit. I think there were 3 or 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. It's a nice little 1,400 square foot condo or townhouse. It's a beautiful complex. They've got a pool, tennis courts. Embro from Louisiana. Oh, just speaking of Louisiana, did you hear the one? I've got a little noise in the background. My son is a chef. Apparently, he's cooking again today. Sorry about the noise if you hear it. Don't worry. It's not the Chainsaw Massacre. In New Orleans, did you hear about the rats that invaded the evidence locker? And police have now accused the rats of eating all the marijuana. Interesting. Got another mod. Got a lot of mods. Another mod, Low2. Thank you. Appreciate it. Tiny T. Here for it, Vinny. Way to go, Tiny T. I don't know what that means. Here for it. For the show. Mama Maria. Patricia. Madonna. Is that no Maron? Oh, Patricia's going Maron. Not Madonna, but Maron. All right, Jolene. That was a great song, by the way. You've heard it a million times, I know. Justice for Madeline, absolutely. That's what this is about. And justice is the truth. Those responsible need to be held accountable. 100%. First live all the way from Queens, New York. Let's go Mets. So I'll tell you what will be interesting here. What is revealed by the medical examiner's report, right? Medical examiners, sometimes they can pick up little fibers. They'll examine that if there's any fibers. And because we don't know cause of death. There could be some object used, a piece of cloth. There could be anything. So any little fiber becomes significant from a piece of material. Obviously, DNA. Signs of a struggle. Trying to figure out what happened at the moment. What was happening at that moment? Was little Madeline fighting back? You think about what she said, 13, she wanted to move out into the woods. You know why she wanted to move out? Because what we've learned about all these charges and this ongoing conduct, which goes back to 2019 when she was 8 years old. That is Beyond. Hey, Jennifer. Hey, Mama Bear from Calgary tonight. East Texas. Thank you, Denise. Tammy from Cali. Brooklyn in the house again. Just make sure no one turns on the car, Brooklyn. Be careful. Evelyn, hello. All right, we're over 2,000, by the way. We're over 2,000. It is time. Smash the like. Share it on Facebook. We are less than 2,000. I think it's like 1,400 followers away from 1 million. 1 million. Love to hit. I mean, if I could hit that this weekend, we could have a party, like a major party right here on the channel. All right. On Facebook, hello from Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Sharon was with us yesterday, I believe. Dawn from California. We've got Carolina Christensen. Carolina. She juxter. I'm messing that up somehow. There's she juxt. Great picture though. Love it. All right, Kelly. Like the video when you enter. Hi, everybody. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mimi. Lydia, hey. So I'm way behind on these comments. All right, what do we got here? Welcome to Thursday. We're thirsty for answers, says Lauren. A great think tank last night. Thank you, Lauren. Think tank last night on my show, 8 to 10 Court TV. Not just on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. I am on television on Court TV. Been there for years. I'm the lead anchor. My show is prime time every night, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 o'clock. Okay. Thirsty for answers. What answers do we have? What questions do you have? Well, one answer is that they're moving forward with the abuse case. There's a trial date of May 13th. Which is very quick. There's a pre-trial date in April. He hasn't appeared in court. He's waived his appearances. His lawyer is doing the appearance, just filing his not guilty plea. So that's interesting that he does not want to appear publicly in court. Here's a question. Could he potentially just plead guilty, just admit it? Could he just admit it, throw in the towel? I don't know. Something else that's interesting about the first case and the charges, because we know these images are on his phone, he'll never see them again unless there's a trial. Is that reason enough that he would take the case to trial so he could view those images again? How sick is he? Because there's no real defense. And this is the way our system of justice works, folks. If you go to trial, your sentence will be harsher than if you plead guilty. And it's not because you're being punished for going to trial. It's because you're being rewarded for accepting responsibility for your actions. When someone admits what they did, there is a mitigating factor. It's statutory in most states that if you accept responsibility for your conduct, you get a benefit from it at sentencing. So strategically, because there's no way he's winning the trial for the abuse, for what was on his phone, he'll never win that trial. I will guarantee he will never win that trial unless the images are suppressed, and then it won't be a trial because prosecutors will dismiss the charges. When I say suppressed, the judge, based on a motion made by the defense, will say that it was an illegal search and seizure. If it is, and the phone is out, then prosecutors will drop those charges. But I don't think there were any problems with the search and seizure. Mark from New York, the legend, Mark Goldman, legendary producer of mine from Court TV Radio. back in the day. Look at him. Just look how good he looks. Anyhow. 727. I wonder if she was unconscious prior to her 13th birthday. Maybe she tried to proceed with his ways after her birthday, fought him, things back. Well, how about the photo, though, right? There is still the photo, right? Doesn't that photo still exist, right? I'm talking about this photo. Isn't that from her 13th birthday? I think it's from her party, unless it's from the actual birthday day. Let me get that comment. Just hide that for a second. And if you look in the background and the reflection, screen right, this image is a little blurry. I have to get a better one. This one's a little blurry. But when you look at a clear one, you can see reflections of people that are there with the cake. And it looks like there's one man very close in the reflection, and then a couple that are seated a little further in the distance. So all those people, obviously important, but it seems like there she is on her birthday, at her birthday party on the 25th, one day before reported missing. But I don't think she was ever missing. I believe that someone took her life and then discarded her body. So that's really not a missing persons case. Camion, thank you, Camion. Yeah, I think everyone's invested in this for many reasons, and people have a lot of questions as well about how we got to this point, right? A lot of questions about how we got to this point. Oh, wow. The comments are just like flying so fast. I can't keep up with them. It's amazing. Yes, there is a court date. Now, for your trial, generally you have to show up for your trial. Although recently on Court TV, we've seen people like Adam Montgomery not show up for his own trial. It's bizarre. Claire from Ireland. Good evening, Claire. Donna's in Indiana tonight. All right. So I should be tomorrow I'll be doing a podcast. I do a tangent podcast on this channel that we'll be doing midday tomorrow. But I may be doing something over the weekend, and I'm kind of leaning towards Sunday later in the day. So there might be a Sunday night, and it might be a marathon show. I'm not sure. I'm looking at it. So I'm just laying that out there for you folks. Potentially Sunday night. Fantastic. I'm glad the show can answer the questions. And, questions that come up here when I do this are things that, I try to get answers to, whether it's on my own with my guests, and watch the show at 8:00 for more information every night. Appreciate it. Peppermint Tea from the UK. Great to see you, Peppermint Tea. All right. Wow. So many. Yeah, indeed. Vermont girl saying hello to everyone. Here we go. Kelly. Oh, the silver fox. Yeah, I just started dyeing my hair gray or silver. I find it better. Okay. Michelle G says under 12 won't be released. Well, won't be released voluntarily, but the media may make arguments that it should be released. It'll certainly be evidence in the case. There's very little information updates available. I think that's good news. I think the silence we're getting now from investigators is actually good news, because it's going to be like silence. Boom, charges. Boom, arrest affidavit. Boom, probable cause. Boom, searches. Preliminary hearings. And we'll see. Yes, she is 13. I think some folks we're talking about the charges related to her age, for the current charges. And when back in 2019, obviously 8 years old, and all the way up to 22 is under the age of 12. Okay, here's a question from Michelle. Threw out the backpack, and there's word the step monster threw it out, which is correct. I believe what law enforcement has told us, and they don't have to be truthful. They can, for investigatory purposes, put out misinformation if they want. But usually they just do that in interrogations or during interrogations. But I believe they said there's video of him discarding it. Now, they said they saw him near the dumpster, and they said they retrieved this stuff from the dumpster. So that's like a circumstantial case, right? The video, you can't tell what he's discarding, but something is discarded and then something is retrieved. There'll be a circumstantial argument to be made that you put those two pieces together, that he is the one, and what he threw away was her backpack. I have not heard from law enforcement that it was mom. If it is mom, she will be charged. Everyone I talked to down in Orlando says they believe she has a lawyer. That lawyer has not come out and made any statements on her behalf. But that lawyer will tell her to be quiet. But it really depends upon what the story is. There's two very different ways of looking at this. And there's probably a way in between that's, kind of a mixture. One, directly involved, has knowledge of everything. You say nothing. The other extreme, not involved, had no idea what was going on, completely innocent, and a victim in all of this. And then there's kind of like the middle ground where, like, suspected, turned a blind eye, thought maybe something was happening, or maybe found out afterwards. Every guest I have on, though, thinks that mom's in trouble here. They really do. They really do. My legal experts at NICE. Crazy that happened around the time of the new law. Well, there's been a bunch of new laws that have been passed down in Florida. And if you watched my show last night, it was really interesting that the death penalty for the abuse of a minor on its face may be unconstitutional. So Florida may have passed a law that when it gets challenged will be deemed to be unconstitutional. So that's one issue. And then there's the retroactive part of this, which is you generally in the law cannot charge someone for a law that was passed today for conduct that you engaged in yesterday, right? The law has to be on the books at the time of the conduct to be applied. Generally, I've seen a couple of exceptions in the way it's been applied by states and judges. Let's see. Thank you, CL. Appreciate it. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. Because she was abused before 12 and then also 12, I think they'll have to make a call on how to release it. I'll be surprised if they do not release. Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised either that they hold as much of the information as they legally can in Florida. But what the media does generally is it's not just this case. They may seek to get this stuff released because in general, they want to make sure that the public access to public documents is not, or the exceptions to it aren't abused by those in power. So that's why many times media organizations will challenge the government when they withhold information and withhold documents. So I wouldn't be surprised by that. And there's Robin saying over 700 on YouTube. Yeah, we're 2,400 total. I don't know where Like, I don't have a count of how many in each stream. Oh, here we go. Stop saying all those channels. You're wasting my time. Deborah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Deborah. All right, Deborah, let's get right to it. No, but it's a combination of answering questions, saying hello, just trying to be polite, Deborah, and then answering the questions that are on everyone's mind. But the headline today, which I've been repeating as more people have come on, is that in the abuse case, a trial date has been set of May 13th. May 13th. Fast trial, super fast. And it's a trial date until someone makes a motion for it not to be a trial date. So as I sit here now, I'm not necessarily banking on a trial on May 13th, but until someone says otherwise, I am not going to forget about it, and I'm going to prepare for it. And I think prosecutors need to prepare for it, because generally it's the defense that gets the delays if and when they seek them, because they're the ones with the speedy trial rights, right? A defendant has a right to a speedy trial. Well, here's the reason I show the pictures. And I get it. I get it, Shaker Maker. I get it. It's part of the story. I think there is something that we take away. It makes it more real. And then if there are things associated with, like, this is a reminder that he's in custody. He's in custody right now. He's not going anywhere, because we know the homicide investigation is continuing and no one has been charged. He's a suspect, but that's a reminder. He's in custody. He's not going anywhere. All right. Here we go. Let's see what Lisa has to say. Love your channel. Your hands down the best reporter lawyer. Thank you for being so bad. Who's bad? Thank you, Lisa Love. I appreciate that. I really do. Honey, I'm home. Hey, Vinny, Jackie. There we go. All right. Alexandra, come on, guys. It's time. 1, 2, 3. Hit the like. Hit the like. Facebook, you need to share. All right, let's bring Jackie back up to speed. Jackie, we've got a trial date set May 13th for the abuse case. Very fast trial date. We'll see what happens. He has waived his appearance in court each and every time. Homicide investigation continuing. We've talking about the ME's report. When will it come out? Will we see it when the ME is done? And my conclusion is, based upon Florida's law that protects the release of reports involving minors, I gave the whole backstory of the law, but my guess is they will err on the side of caution and will not voluntarily release it. I think some media organization or member of the public will have to go to court to attempt to get that medical examiner report released to the public. That's what I believe. That's my analysis. Okay. I'm going to try all the others. Well, exactly. And I get it. The public should not be informed, but they passed a law. They actually passed a law. Someone would have to challenge the law. Like, a law is a law up until the point that it's challenged and found to be a violation of some constitutional right. Okay? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yes, we will see things at trial. If it's up to Jen, we won't see it, Jesse. And that's what I to bring everyone up to speed. Under Florida's law, the surviving parent under that law would have sort of a veto power to block it from being released. And I agree with you, Jesse. I agree with you. I'm sorry I'm irritating you, Deborah. I'm so sorry. Jennifer from the Poconos. Great to see you. All right, Debbie, Biodad, and then yes. Whoa, wow. All right. And I've heard rumors about this. I haven't seen the name yet. Okay. This is interesting. Interesting Facebook page. All right. We will. Debbie, thank you so much, Debbie, for that. All over it. All over it. Up to 2,500 live viewers, by the way. Up to 25. And by the way, if you're on Facebook, so important, Debbie, so important that you guys share, because I am this close, like less than 2,000 from 1 million followers. All right. Is it considered a juvenile record? No, it's not a juvenile record. A juvenile record is like a criminal record, right? So you commit a crime as someone underage. It's dealt with in the juvenile system unless you're waived up into the adult court, and all those records are sealed, absolutely sealed, away from the public, and aren't supposed to be used against juveniles. But sometimes some juvenile crimes they waive up. This is a separate law that was passed to protect a surviving parent and to help them heal from the tragic loss of a minor child and not have to hear about all the details from people like me on the news. I mean, that's the truth of why it was passed. Thank you, Camila. Great to hear from you. Love the photo. Yeah, I think we're all heartbroken here. You know, and I think the significance of shining the light on these types of stories is to wake up people. Wake up people. You know, at the end of my show every night on television, and I did it on radio when I was on Sirius, and I do it here as well. So I say, don't forget to hug the kids. And when I say that, I mean, like, if you have your own kids, obviously you want to hug them. That's obvious. You don't necessarily want to walk up to stranger kids and hug them. That's a problem. But I think we as the adults need to be more aware of children around us and be observant and see if there's a child that might be in distress. So if we see, it's kind of like the old see something, say something, and you see a child who's lost, you're going to help that child. I know you are, the people who are watching me now. You want to help that child. Where's mom? Where's dad? Are you lost? Why are you crying? Things like that. If you see a child that you suspect might being abused, you know, make the call. Make the call. You know, we have a collective duty, I believe, as the responsible adults in society, to do everything we can to protect children. And when we shine the light on cases like this, I think it reminds us that there are children like Madeline who are being abused for years, and for whatever reason, nobody knew. Nobody found out. Nobody did anything. Okay, Sylvia. Wow. Need to go with the photo he has of himself showing the reflection of mom. I think I know which photo you're talking about. Let me put that photo up. I'm going to put that photo up so we can see the reflection. I'm going to do that right now. Let's do that. I think it's this one, right? Is it this one? If you look in the reflection, is that mom? Right now, I can't zoom in any more than I can. I'd have to do that offline to zoom in a little more on the glasses, but maybe I'll do that for the next live. But it's interesting. Like, there's clues everywhere, right? You look everywhere, there are clues everywhere. People leave clues everywhere, and with social media, we leave them all on our phones, photos on our phone. There's just things that, you know, that become very relevant that seemingly don't mean much at the time, but you can find significance and information in so many different places right now. Like a selfie, the reflection in the glasses. All right, this is an interesting shock that increasingly that happened. No, I don't think it's increased. ICE, I really don't think it's increased. I think awareness has increased. I think coverage has increased. And I think that's all good. Okay, so the more you're hearing about this, I think it's better, right? The more sunshine we put on it, the roaches will run away. Okay? Shine a light on these cases, on these stories, on these children, and then shine the light on these people. And I think we're just talking about it more. The more aware we are, the more that we can help each other and help people, children who are in the midst of it, once we understand that this is happening. But I don't think it's increased. I think it's the coverage and the awareness that has increased. To get information and even care when they want to keep things related to it. Okay. Investigators generally until they have an arrest, they like to hold everything here because they feel that it could somehow impair their investigation. And each case is a little different. Like there are unsolved cases where you need to keep things a little more public. You need to have people talking about it. You need the awareness because you don't know where the next lead is going to come from. Here, this case a little different, right? They quickly are zeroing in on one person, right? Or maybe two, we don't know. And it's a much more focused investigation. It's not like they're like, oh, who could it be? No. They're looking at this guy, absolutely, and gathering the evidence. It's not that they're keeping it secret. It's that they are trying to dot their I's and cross their T's, because if they go for the ultimate punishment, they know the case will be litigated and litigated and litigated, meaning every issue will be litigated. Every issue will be appealed if they seek the ultimate punishment and get it, which is a little bit easier to get down in Florida now. 8-4 gets you there. 8-4 during the punishment phase. All right, Sandy Dirt is here. All right, I'm try to get to some more questions that are popping up. All right, Sylvie, it's my guest. Stephan was just like Madeline, brought into this trafficking world by his parents, and he thought he could do the same with Madeline. He wasn't working in real estate for his parents. Yeah, I don't think he was working. I don't know. I don't know if there's more. That's another part of the investigation, though. That's another part of the investigation. Is he communicating with people? Is he sending information to people? Is he sending images to people? Is he sending videos? What is he doing with these videos? Is it all for personal use? Is there something deeper and darker happening here that needs to be uncovered? All right, what do we have here? We've got Kelvin has the Telegram channel. There's the Telegram channel, folks, if you want to write that down. I'll leave that up for just a second. Thank you, Kelvin Bella. All right. It's getting close to the witching hour for me today. I have to be a little bit quicker today because I got on a little bit later. Again, a lot of work all day preparing for my show, 8 o'clock tonight on Court TV. All right. Milena, Lovini. Yeah. Here's the problem. When the stories are too consistent, like why? And is it just someone repeating someone else's story, or is it three people getting together and saying, all right, this is the story? See, that's called a conspiracy. But if it's just like, oh, I'm repeating what I know from this person over here, it's not a conspiracy. But that's interesting. Interesting. All right. Again, folks, don't forget to watch me every night. Thank you, Starlar. Every night, 8 o'clock on Court TV, your front row seat to justice. Our cameras are inside every big courtroom and every big case that you see, from Johnny Depp to Alec Murdoch. It's us. So make sure you watch 8 o'clock tonight. I also have a show on the weekends. If you can't catch me at night, Saturday mornings instead of cartoons, 10 a.m. Vinnie Politan Investigates. And then I'm working on season 2 of my show, Accomplice to Murder, which right now I believe is on Sunday nights. May K. The May 13th trial date likely will be pushed out. But until it is, I've got it marked on my calendar. Okay? I've got it marked on my calendar. We're keeping track of it at Court TV on our calendars. But May 13th is also the Delphi murder trial date as well. Could end up being a very big week. Very big week. Paw 89 from Arlington, Texas. Thank you, Paw. Great to see you. All right, Fem Natal. Good stuff. Dolly's in the chat. Where's Dolly? Should we say hello, Dolly? Barbara, thank you, Barbara. Appreciate it. Danielle with us as well. So 8:00 tonight, we got a couple things on our agenda. We've got the Crumbly trial, but we'll also be in on this one, bringing in a big-time homicide investigator tonight on the show. Thank you, Med247 RN, and thank you for being a nurse. We appreciate that. We need more nurses. Absolutely. We have a big time homicide investigator joining us tonight, 8 to 10 on Court TV. We're not hearing everything. Why not? What are they doing? And then we'll bring in our legal experts. What I's need to be dotted, what T's need to be crossed to get this to the point that we're going to bring him in on homicide charges. Right? That's the thing that we're waiting for, the homicide charges. She was 11 in 2023. She was 11 in part of 2023. Yes. No, 2022. She turned 13, 2024, 2023. She was 12. The beginning of 2023, she was 11. 2022. She was 11, I believe. I might be messing up my math right now, but that's what I do believe here. I may be messing up. I don't, on the fly here, doing math, not the easiest thing. All right. I've been a Court TV fan 4 years. I help moderate for Court TV on YouTube. All right. I will be at CrimeCon. I'll be at CrimeCon. We're doing the show live from CrimeCon. Hopefully. We have to get final permission. We did it last time. We want to do it again. And that might be a big show because it might be, we might be in the Delphi verdict that night. Believe it or not. That could be the end of the Delphi trial when CrimeCon is happening. A lot of big deals here. Nirvana, welcome to the crazy world of life. Yeah, it is crazy. I can't keep up with it. There's just too much happening here. Big girl for life. Yeah. That silence may be golden, right? Usually, this is interesting. What is this? Vinny. No, I have not. I hear rumors. I hear things. But the only things I can report are things that come from sources that can be vouched for as a member of the news organization that is Court TV. But obviously keeping my eyes open and my ear to the ground on all of that. And, there's two ways of looking at it, right? A lot of times things that happen, you will hear first, sometimes on the internet. And sometimes you'll hear things first that aren't true on the internet. On television, there's a filtering process, right? Certain standards that we have to abide by to report things. And a lot of it has to do with the sourcing of that. What is the source of the information? Who is giving to us? Can we report that? And especially when you start getting to things where you're naming other names of people, it becomes a little more dicey. I believe this is an interesting question. Who did they release the body to? Right? After the autopsy and all the testing is done, the body would go to the parent. That's where it should go to. In this case, I do not have any official sources providing that information yet. But what's interesting would be ultimately, and again, this all comes back to the $64 billion question that we don't know the answer to, which is, how is mom being perceived by investigators right now? Is she a cooperating witness, star witness for a trial, or is she being looked at as someone potentially involved with everything that happened here? That one we don't know. Natello, I'm a child trafficking, ringing children before. It's disguised as a church. I've heard that. Need the sources. We need to verify sources on that reporting. But yes, and the question is it deeper and darker than what's going on now? A lot of silence from police right now. And if they're uncovering or investigating something like this, they may want to keep it quiet for now. If they're closing in on other folks. Now, if this is true, this becomes a bargaining chip for this guy. Becomes a bargaining chip, right? Defendants get lighter sentences when they take responsibility for their actions and when they provide information that can hook bigger fish in a bigger pond. Does that exist here? We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, the earliest dates make her 8 or 9. Exactly. Yeah, it goes back to 2019. 2019. That is way, 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 way back. Phone chat on YouTube regarding. I believe that is someone who needs to be interviewed by police. Absolutely. And so the question is, who's in on this investigation right now? Is it going beyond the Kissimmee PD? Well, and we're talking about Lori Daybell. So Lori Daybell, her children, the bodies were not released for years because, and this was very unusual, extremely heartbreaking. I haven't covered a ton of cases in Idaho, but it was considered, the remains were considered evidence in the case. And it is evidence, but it's usually evidence that both sides do whatever testing they want to do, and then we let the victim rest in peace. Didn't happen in that case. The bodies weren't released, and it was absolutely mind-boggling to me because I had never seen that before. And, JJ's grandpa was absolutely heartbroken by all that. Thank you so much, Dre Latina. Off script. Now, this is interesting. More off script than when? Because on my television program, the only scripts that exist are the introduction to my guests. Those are the only scripts I use on my television program. I get what you mean. The vibe obviously is a little more casual than a very highly and tightly produced television program with certain times when you got to get to a commercial break, trying to manage time, manage the guests, get the information out, get the sound bites and the videos on the air in a more seamless fashion. And it's like you're battling the clock on television. So that's why things are that's why the vibe is different. Here, there's no one keeping time. Like this weekend, I may do a marathon show this weekend. Sunday night. I'm debating it. I got to see what's on my schedule, et cetera. But I get what you mean, Dre Latina, and I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. All right. So let's do it one more time. If you're here on Facebook, I'm this close to 1 million followers. I want to throw a party, but I can't throw a party till I get to 1 million. So please share on Facebook, hit the like button on YouTube, and I appreciate all the support from everyone, all the great comments. Great to reconnect with a lot of folks who've been watching or used to listen on Sirius XM or watch me on the original Court TV or watched me on HLN After Dark, and all the cases and trials that I've covered. But again, I'll be here a lot. I'll be here a lot because it's a vibrant community. As much as I provide information to you, you provide information to me because I know you guys are digging as well. And some of the leads I get here, we follow up, we try to verify sources, and then I can report it on television and talk more in depth with you here on YouTube. So I appreciate all of that. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. And as I always say, and the reason I say it again is we are the adults, okay? We have the obligation. We're the responsible adults in society to make sure children are protected, that children are safe. So have a great night. I'll see you 8:00 on Court TV. And please don't forget to hug the kids.